Flight information. Delta Airlines Flight 4819, operated by Endeavour Air, was a regional flight from Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport (MSP) to Toronto Pearson International Airport (YYZ). The aircraft was a Bombardier CRJ-900, a commonly used regional jet. Weather conditions. On the day of the flight, Toronto was experiencing heavy snowfall with low visibility and slippery conditions at the airport. The snowstorm led to reduced visibility on the runways, making landings more challenging. This severe weather played a significant role in the incident, as pilots had to navigate through the storm to land safely. Flight approach. As the flight neared Toronto, weather conditions worsened. Snow accumulation on the runway and reduced visibility are believed to have complicated the final approach, contributing to the aircraft's inability to land safely. 2. Crash and immediate impact. Crash landing. As Delta Airlines Flight 4819 approached Toronto Pearson International Airport, the aircraft attempted to land amidst the heavy snowfall and poor visibility. The runway was slippery, which led to difficulties in controlling the plane during the landing process. Plane off the runway. The aircraft skidded off the runway, unable to stop in time. The plane flipped onto its roof after hitting the ground, creating a dangerous situation for everyone on board. Injuries. Of the 80 people on board, 18 sustained injuries, including 3 critically injured individuals. Among the critically injured were a child and 2 adults. The other passengers and crew members had minor injuries, but fortunately, there were no fatalities. Immediate response. Emergency responders arrived quickly at the scene, and the crash was dealt with swiftly to ensure the safety of the passengers and crew. Given the snowstorm, it was a challenge for emergency teams to quickly reach the plane, but they were able to manage the situation effectively. 3. Evacuation and fire. Evacuation. After the crash, all 80 people on board, including 76 passengers and 4 crew members, managed to evacuate the plane. Despite the severe snowstorm and the plane being upside down, the emergency exits were used to quickly get people to safety. Challenges during evacuation. The snowstorm complicated the evacuation process, but the quick thinking of the crew and passengers, combined with emergency services on the ground, allowed for a relatively smooth evacuation. Fire eruption. Shortly after the crash, the plane caught fire, likely due to a fuel leak or other internal issues triggered by the impact. The fire created a dangerous situation, but fire crews quickly arrived on the scene to extinguish the flames. No further fatalities. Despite the fire, there were no additional fatalities, thanks to the prompt evacuation and the efforts of emergency services to contain the fire before it spread further. The fire was put out without major damage to the surrounding area. Airport disruption and operations. Runway closures. Following the crash, Toronto Pearson International Airport temporarily shut down its runways to facilitate emergency response efforts and ensure the area was secure for investigation. All incoming and outgoing flights were delayed or redirected to other airports, causing a major disruption to airport operations. Air traffic delays. The closure of the runways lasted for over 2 hours, affecting hundreds of flights. Passengers were stranded both in the air and on the ground as incoming flights were rerouted and outgoing flights were delayed. The snowstorm further compounded delays, as weather conditions made it difficult to clear runways and safely resume flight operations. Impact on ground operations. Ground operations were also halted, with airport services like baggage handling and refueling suspended until the situation was under control. Passengers inside the terminal faced long delays as they waited for flight updates. Restoration of normal operations. After the crash site was cleared, investigations began, and the runways were reopened. However, delays continued for hours as the airport worked to recover from the disruption and process the backlog of flights. The airport authorities worked closely with emergency services and airlines to resume regular operations as soon as possible. 5. Investigation and official response. Investigation by the Transportation Safety Board of Canada, TSB. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada initiated a formal investigation into the cause of the crash. Investigators will examine multiple factors, including the role of weather conditions, heavy snowfall, possible mechanical issues, and the aircraft's response during the landing attempt. Weather conditions as a factor. Weather conditions, particularly the heavy snowstorm and low visibility at the time of the incident, are expected to be a major focus of the investigation. The snow accumulation on the runway and the reduced visibility likely played a crucial role in the plane's difficulty during the landing phase, leading to the crash. Expert analysis. Aviation experts will also analyze flight data, including cockpit voice recordings and flight data records, to better understand the sequence of events leading up to the crash. The aircraft's condition and any possible malfunctions will be thoroughly assessed. Official statements. Delta Airlines expressed their concern and sympathy for those affected by the crash. They worked closely with emergency response teams and provided assistance to the passengers and their families. The airline also stated that it was fully cooperating with the investigation. Potential impact on safety protocols. The investigation could lead to changes or updates in aviation safety protocols, particularly regarding how airports handle severe weather conditions and how aircraft are managed during adverse weather. This could impact future operational procedures at airports in similar climates. Safety protocols. Enhanced weather protocols. The crash could prompt airports, especially those in regions prone to severe weather like Canada, to review and potentially tighten their weather-related operational protocols. This may involve more advanced weather monitoring systems, better predictive models, and stricter guidelines for aircraft takeoffs and landings in challenging weather conditions such as heavy snowfall and low visibility. Aircraft landing procedures. Airlines may revise their procedures for landing in adverse conditions. This could include more rigorous pilot training on how to handle difficult landings, especially in winter weather, and improving flight management systems to ensure that planes can land safely under reduced visibility and slippery runway conditions. Airport infrastructure and snow management. Airport authorities might review their snow clearing protocols to ensure that runways and taxiways are kept clear during extreme weather. Enhanced equipment and strategies for faster snow removal could be implemented, along with improved communication between air traffic control and ground crews during storms. Passenger safety and evacuation training. The successful evacuation of the passengers despite the crash and snowstorm could lead to a re-evaluation of evacuation procedures. Airlines may invest more in emergency training for crew members, ensuring they can handle high-stress evacuations under challenging environmental conditions. This could include improved drills on how to evacuate passengers in extreme cold and snow. Technological innovations. In the long term, the incident may spur the development of more advanced technologies to assist with aircraft navigation and decision-making in adverse weather. This could include enhanced runway surface condition sensors, better aircraft de-icing technologies, and improvements in real-time weather data available to pilots during flight. Regulatory changes. Aviation regulators, such as Transport Canada, may issue new guidelines or review current regulations regarding the safe operation of flights in extreme weather conditions. These might focus on aircraft certification standards, runway maintenance, and enhanced crew training to ensure passenger safety during such incidents.